Another Ugandan man is publicly speaking out against the sanctioning of homophobia in Uganda.
When I was first told that you're going to be the leader of SMAG, Sexual Minorities Uganda, so does not mean the leader of SMAG alone. This means the leader of the Ugandan LGBT community. That means I'm going to be in the media every day. That means I'm going to be discriminated even more. That means every person in my family is going to know about me.
Radio Uganda USA, and the time is 9 minutes after 8 o'clock right here in Boston, Massachusetts. You being an African and gay at the same time, it really contradicts with what actually many Africans believe as being the norm.
The issue of homosexuality was in Africa because looking in the past, when the British colonists came to Africa and they were introducing laws, they had to include a law on homosexuality, meaning they were condemning that something that was already existing. Okay. So being African and being a homosexual is like being anywhere and being a homosexual.
The notion that the current criminal law that's in place that criminalizes consensual homosexual conduct is somehow a traditional African value is really quite preposterous. It has its origin in very racist, misogynistic views about human sexuality. And so it's a colonial import to begin with.
Foreign influences continue today. In 2009, Reverend Dr. Kapia Kaoma of Political Research Associates attended anti-gay seminars in Uganda. In his report, he describes the link between these seminars and the anti-homosexuality bill.
So I heard that the evangelical Christian right is coming to Uganda to hold this anti-gay seminar. But when I heard that, I took that as an opportunity to go and listen to what was being said.
One of the speakers at the anti-gay seminar was American Scott Lively, who calls himself one of the most knowledgeable and articulate opponents of the homosexual agenda.
They misled people, and I kept on saying, these guys are lying to people in the name of religion. Talking about how dangerous gays are in this world. They are violent people, they are out to kill. They are the ones who are responsible for the molestation of kids in the world. They are the ones who are responsible for HIV. All sorts of evil were put on this small group of people. He also met with the parliamentarians of Uganda for 4 hours, teaching them about this international gay agenda to take over the world and why Uganda should stand up against it. The bill which came from Uganda is the direct product of this hate seminar which was held in Uganda.
For us, we always thought people from America, people from Europe, people from the West are kind of liberal and very more understanding to the issues of sexuality and sexual rights. But then I was very surprised when Reverend Kapia Kaoma told me these people are actually here to condemn homosexuality and say it is really not acceptable.
This is what has made me question, what is the agenda of my brothers and sisters in the evangelical movement when it comes to Africa? Do they really care what happens to other people's lives? No. I don't think they do. They are interested in using Africa for their own political gain.
Senator Jim Inhofe of Oklahoma, longtime family member, and one of the very few that's extremely candid about what he does with them. He goes over to Uganda, traveling with lots and lots of money. He can say it's a private trip. You're a U.S. senator. When you go to a foreign country, our embassy meets you there. It's not a private trip. You're a representative of the most powerful nation on the earth, and you say you hate gay people, and you say you have money to share. And here's a really, truly beleaguered, desperately poor nation. It's pretty conservative anyways. They're gonna go along with that. The member of parliament who introduced the 2009 Anti-Homosexuality Act is a guy named David Bahati.
I want to encourage my sister to believe in a world of possibilities.
It's recently come to light that member of the Ugandan Parliament, David Bahati, who sponsored this legislation, is affiliated with the family.
Tax documents from the family show millions of dollars have gone into programs linked to David Bahati. Mr. Bahati is also secretary of the family's Parliament Fellowship in Uganda.
The family did take steps to oppose the bill, much too little and much too late, and mainly to protect their own image. And this is what David Bahati says. He says, look, when they would call me to talk about it, they didn't tell me to withdraw the bill. They talked about damage control. They talked about appearances. And that really came to a head in February around the National Prayer Breakfast. The speaker for the prayer breakfast was supposed to be the Prime Minister of Spain, Zapatero. And at the last minute, they made the main speaker Hillary Clinton.
And I recently called President Museveni, whom I have known through the prayer breakfast, and expressed the strongest concerns about a law being considered in the Parliament of Uganda.
And she denounced the bill in pretty strong terms, and so did Barack Obama.
But surely we can agree that it is unconscionable to target gays and lesbians for who they are.
And I think the family said, we've done what we needed to do. And meanwhile, at that point, the bill was just sort of still hurtling toward passage.
I know for sure that the East Parliament will pass this bill.
Embassies in Uganda began speaking up publicly against the bill. The U.S. ambassador started speaking publicly on the record, opposing the bill.
It looks like the bill is locked up in committee now, and that does have to do with Museveni realizing that this was going to hurt him internationally. But on top of it, he'd gotten all the benefits. He'd whipped up a witch hunt. He had convinced Ugandans that he was standing up to the decadent West. He wins, and Uganda loses.
It hurts me that I can't go back to my country, but I think I need to be happy. I think I need to be happy. I need to start a new life altogether.
I'm going back to Uganda to ask the Ugandan government to question the religious groups that are spreading a lot of hate and homophobia. If what they are doing is not bringing a genocide in Uganda, and it's about time the government of Uganda asks these religious groups, are you here to preach love or are you here to preach hate?